Motormouth Jenkins here, welcoming you to our brand new YouTube channel. Hope that you'll come back and see every segment each and every week, and I will share preventative maintenance tips and regularly scheduled maintenance tips for your car. So whether you know a little bit about your car or absolutely nothing, this is the channel just for you, where I share over 35 years of experience as a qualified and licensed service technician with truck and coach, light truck and passenger vehicles. Come back and visit us and tell your friends, and we'll see you each and every week right here in the Car Connection Workshop on YouTube.
Yeah, so Joe, the pilot guy, we can never see him, but he periodically fires up and he moves. He moved from, I was washing the hood on the fire chicken. Man, we make a lot of dust in here. So I gently clean him off, and all of a sudden, zzz, he's buzzing around, swung around, made me spill my coffee. I go, Joe, pilot guy, what's the matter with you? Yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, the lights come on and the thing moves. We don't know. Yeah, it showed up in my hedge last summer. I go out, I see this thing flashing. I'm getting ready to cut the grass, and he's upside down in the hedge. So I thought, I'd give him a home. So periodically, all of a sudden, the thing starts flashing and it moves. So it's over here now. You made me spill my coffee, Joe, pilot guy. So I said to Skippy, number one, I go, Skippy, keep an eye on that guy. You got it? 2 eyes. Keep an eye on that guy. Yeah. Well, anyways, here we are back in the Car Connection Workshop. We're working on, I call them restoration, because it really has been. I can guarantee you 100%, if you haven't watched the other videos, I'm your host all the time, Niall Motormouth Jenkins, in the Car Connection Workshop. Be sure to check out Car Connection Radio as well. In our description, I always put the website where you can find us on our website and then connect and listen live through our Car Connection Business Network website. Every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. we're live, call-in automotive program, and in the afternoon on the same network at 2 o'clock, stop by and play What's That Sound with us. It's a laugh. And just test your skills on name that automotive sound, get yourself a gift card. It's that simple. All right, so here, the original problem was can't close the hood. Well, I've removed the intake manifold, and I got a new one to me. Actually, I went to my vintage car parts department, and I got this wonderful factory aluminum intake manifold right from General Motors. It's from the early 70s. So, and I refurbished it, and I've put it on. So, and I installed the carburetor as well. So now I get to set this engine up from scratch again. And this hose is not correct. It should be a metal pipe. See, this is what this whole car has been like for me. I got this car from some mechanics in Lewiston, New York. Let's just leave it at that. And I got to say, bulk of the stuff was done, but I've had to go back and redo. This is an original. This should be this should be not a push-on fitting. It should be a metal pipe and thread into the back of the carburetor. So I have one at my parts shop, and I'll pull that out because the line should come off of here, metal tubing, come through here, come out here, and then just a short hose to connect to it. So it should come all the way over and then turn, and this should connect to it. So we'll go with what they have for now, and then once I got this engine running again, I got to set this carburetor and the engine timing, everything from scratch. But we've removed the Edel broken intake manifold. Reason being is it was too high. We couldn't even close the hood. And that's the factory air breather. I got that from my friend Stuart, who has Northern Corvette. So if you ever need anything Northern Corvette, let him know that Niall sent you. He knows me. So I'll just place that on there. So the intake's on, it's torqued down, new gaskets. We went through that. If you haven't seen that video, you can find that video on our YouTube channel. There's two parts to that, diagnosing the intake and then removing it. And we walked through all the reasons why, and we show the one that we took off and what was going on with that. That was about to be a catastrophic failure. So what I'm going to show you today, I took the liberty of doing all this, which is simple stuff, but now I'm going to show you how I dropped the distributor in, because I didn't time it. I didn't bring it up to top dead center, and I didn't set it to top dead center and number one spark plug on the distributor. But we also, if you haven't seen that video on redoing the distributor, put a new gasket on there. Make sure you put that on before you drop it in. I don't glue them to the intake on purpose, because that causes problems later on. So we shot a video showing you how to go through the distributor and service everything that's in there. So now all I got to do is take the cap back off, just like that. This screwdriver is the best for doing this. It really is. Out of all the tools I have, this screwdriver seems to be the best at unhooking these without skipping in there. No, I didn't say skippy, I said skipping. He's such a cheeky monkey, I'm telling you. It really is. So this is all ready to go. This is a Jacobs cap and rotor. If you haven't seen the video, I compare the old distributor cap and the problems with it and the problems with the rotor as well. So we walked through all this internal, the module, the reluctor, the suppressor, noise suppressor. So now I'm going to pull my tape off my hole for the distributor. And fellas and fellettes, always tape orifices closed. And if you go over to the Jeep engine, you'll see I've done the same thing. Don't leave motors open. Stuff can happen when you're not around, and it does. Like Joe, the pilot guy, Skippy over there. He's very sensitive. All right, so I want to drop this in where I took it out. So here's two things I know. My name and how to get home. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let me get a little light in here. Let me get my lightsaber. Put a little light in here. Hope that does, is that going to drive the camera nuts? Are we good? Do you want me to move it? Turn it down? All right. Is that good? Do you like that? Okay, so see this mark here? I did this before I pulled the distributor out. That is where my vacuum advance fitting needs to be pointing to. This is the mark where my rotor needs to be pointed at when I drop the distributor in. So, and what I did was, I call this number one. So instead of lining it up to top dead center and going through all that rigmarole, I'm only pulling the distributor so I can change the intake. I'm not going to spend a ton of time doing that. I'm just going to mark where I was at, and I'm going to drop it back in exactly the same position. So when I took the distributor cap off, the rotor was pointing right here. I pinned it as well. If you look, I put 3 dots there with my little punch, and I've also marked it with my welding marker. So very easy to see it. So when I took this distributor apart and I washed it in the parts bin and cleaned it all out and serviced it, I lost my line. But before I did that, I pin pricked it so that I had my mark and I could put my white mark right back. So what I need to accomplish is I need to drop this back in, have my rotor pointing at this location, and have my vacuum advance pointing at that line. So I'm going to drop that down, and I got to let the gears line up and everything. And I'm going to turn this. So I'm going to turn this that way. See, I'm aiming for my vacuum advance. My rotor's way over here. Let's see what happens. Tell you, I'm too good at this. Okay, Skippy, show them. There's my mark. Right there, where my finger is. There's my rotor. My vacuum advance is lined up with my marker point. All I got to do is bolt this down, and my distributor is, let me just check it. I'm all the way down. So if you look underneath, see if you can get in there from this direction, you'll see the blue gasket down here. Let me get my screwdriver. This is my favorite screwdriver for HEI ignition, right here. There's my gasket. There's my flange on the HEI distributor. There's the base gasket mating surface on my intake manifold. My distributor's all the way down and seated. Now I can put the anchor on. My rotor is pointed right at the mark, which I called number 1 cylinder. And my vacuum advance is pointing right at my line to tell me that's where my that's where my ignition timing is set to. So I'm putting it back exactly where it was before I pulled it out. So now I'm going to get the distributor bracket and the bolt. And Skippy, if we can just change positions for a minute, then I will come over and I'll put the plug wires on. How you doing? High five. Guess you're a little busy. You can't. Yes. We need the... yeah. What did I do with that? Interesting. Okay, I need the distributor, Boltus Delectivus. Oh! I could have had a cold snack. All right, we need the distributorator wrench. I heard this ticking noise. You know what it was? It was this socket in here rocking back and forth. Car connection in Sense Around. Do you remember that when those movies came out? You watched it in Sense Around? That was crazy. That's why I don't go swimming anymore, because I watched Jaws in Sense Around. When a freaking shark looks that big, I ain't going in the water. Forget having a bigger boat. I only have 4 limbs. There you go. That's why you mark it and put it in here. Duh. But I've got containers over there lined up for other jobs. So this is all nicely cleaned. You want to pay attention here because there's a contact point here and it's flat here. So fellas, which way does this go? Which way does it go on? Because it was on the wrong direction. See how it's curved? Let me turn it. See how it's curved up? Look, it's going in there. Oh. It goes this way because it has to contact the distributor. The bolt has to come down and pull down on the neck of the distributor. So here's what I do. Is because it's right down in there and it's a little tight. Thank you. We'll blame that on Skippy right there. Okay, so I just turn this out of my way. And I get this down on there. Make sure you get it right down on the neck of the distributor. Underneath. You might have to show it from the other side there, Skippy. I need the light. I need a little more. That's it. I can see now. Can you see me now? No, what's the song? I can see clearly now? That's it. Winner! Yeah. Okay, so now I got that down there. Gotta make sure that's down there on the neck of the distributor, and it's not. It's off there. So guys, this is where it gets a little tricky. You want to make sure you're on the base of that distributor, otherwise you're going to have oil leakage. And I see guys put silicone on there and everything. Just put a really good gasket on there and you don't need to put any goo on it. You just don't. So I hold the distributor hold down bracket with my finger and get my wrench on there. And I'm just going to bring this down until it contacts and it's a little snug, and then I can bring my distributor back to what I called number 1 position for me when I pulled it out. And that's why I don't need to. I thank my my military automotive instructor for teaching me this, because it was a weak area for me when I was an apprentice, and he would just pull this distributor right out and all the plug wires and everything, and he'd say, I don't want to hear that engine turn over. He would crank it over and take the key out of the ignition so I couldn't cheat and set the engine up to 0. So he made me learn how to do this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I can snug it down a little bit more yet, so I can have some friction on there, just a little bit, so that it takes a little bit of effort to move it. And when I move it, then it'll stay. So just make sure that contacts the base of the distributor, because I see guys put it on upside down, put silicone on there and everything, and you don't need to. You just need to do this right. Okay, so that's going to start getting tight now, and it is. So now I'm going to move my wrench to that clock position. I'm going to bring my vacuum advance over and line it up with my mark here on my tape. So I'm just going to line this up. I can pull this out, get it out of my way. That'll probably give you a better visual. There's my mark. There's where I need to be. And I'm pretty much dead nuts. So now, we get the distributor wrench in underneath there, and I hold this, and now I snug it down. And you don't have to snug it down like it's holding the engine in the car, guys. Just snug it down. It's not going to move. All right, I'm going to go to the other side, Skippy, and we'll put the plug wires on and everything. So excuse me momentarily. So the distributor is now in. It's on my mark where I removed it, which is right here. So I didn't have to set it top dead center. I didn't have to find number 1. I just didn't have to do any of that. Saves so much time. If you just take your time to think about it and not overthink it. So now I'm going to put my distributor on. So I'm going to turn it till it drops in. There we go. Get my favorite screwdriver. Put my hooks in. This is probably the most awkward one because you got your vacuum advance there, but with a good screwdriver you can get a really good turn on that anchor and it won't give you any grief. That's why I really like this screwdriver. It's my fave. It seems to fit the top of these anchors, and I always put my finger underneath to make sure I get that last one and check them, and I'm in, and we're solid. So now we're going to plug in the coil. But I'm going to do something else. I'm teaching you the right way. Don't cut corners. This is my favorite sauce for everything. Brake servicing, synthetic dielectric grease, that's for electrical connections. It doesn't conduct. It just protects the terminals. So I just put some into the terminals. That stops them from moisture from getting in there and creating a misfire, and it lubricates the terminals. And now I'm going to put that in there. If I can see what the heck I'm doing, that'd be nice. I'll put a little bit of light on the show. So in we go and click it in. What's next? We need some hydro. Here's my other terminal here. Hey, that works. So I just take a little smear in there, same thing. That goes on to the battery side, bat, right here. Get that on there. There we go. And I do have a tack one here. I believe it's this one right here. We have a spare, but that's for something else. Again, I got to figure that out, what it is. This is for the tack. And I've had to go through all the instrument cluster on this car, and I'm not done yet. Under there, I got wiring I'm still sorting out. So, it is what it is. And you just got to be patient. And same with this, just got to be patient and go through it, fix it, and just get it done. There we go. Now we have our tack hooked up. Okay, so now what's next? Well, I made a spark plug wire number 1. Where is it? What the stink? So I got, where are all the wires? I don't know, Vern. Okay, so that looks like number 2. So I need to pull this one up. I need to find the other ones. There's number 4. I just kind of stuffed them down there to get them out of my way. So number 4. It's number, what number is that one? 7. Okay, so that's, I made this number 1. So that's 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Number 7. Is it stuck on something? Yeah. I think I shoved them way down there because they were really ticking me off. When I was doing the intake. There we go. It's like freaking hide and go seek. All right. Number 8. Number 7. How do we make it out here? I got another one down here. These are all going to get tidied up a little bit more up here, but I'm just showing you where I'm at. Okay, so that's number 6. That's number 5. That's number 4. Well, I haven't found my number 1 yet. Is it here? 3, 6, 5, 7, 8. It's going to be hiding here somewhere. 4. So that's 2, 3. Do you know where it is? Huh? Down there? Oh, wait a minute. And there it is. I found it. Yippee! There we go. All right, we got them all here now. Okay, so here's what I do. Pull them off. Get your electric grease. Put a daub on the top of each one. And guys, if a little bit's good, you don't need to go overboard. Just a little daub. And this is a nice cap because the terminals are brass. And brass is a superconductor. The caps I showed you in that video, if you haven't watched that one, when we went through and we redid the distributor. So, okay, here we go. So I said, that's my number 1. Check my white mark, and I marked my wire. It's not really number 1, but I made it number 1. And I made this one number 2. And where are you happening here? And there is number 3. 3, 4. I saw 4. 6. There it is. Found it. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this has got to be 6. And it is 6. And number 7. I saw that. I saw that. And then number 7. And number 8. So that's how I do it. Mark it where it is. Mark your rotor, mark your distributor housing, and then if you're going to, what I do is I prick punch it anyway as a habit, because if my white mark gets rubbed off, I may never get it right. So I made this my number one, but it's not really the number one cylinder. But you know what? It might be, because it's going to this side. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everything is back exactly the way it was before we started this project to replace the intake manifold. And like I said, I will tidy this up a lot better than this. When I'm finished, it'll look really good. It's just kind of, I didn't put the plug wires in, but I can tidy it up and make it a lot better than that. So if we were timing it out and putting it at top dead center, number one, then the firing order would be clockwise. And how do I know that? See the way the distributor comes in? So if we were to take our finger and go in here, it would take us that way. So the distributor turns clockwise. So let's say this was number one, then it would be 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. And if we want to know that for sure, the firing order is right here on the intake manifold on just about any engine. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So it would be, if this were number one, the next one would be 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. But to do this job, I made this number one, and then I just count them through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're all back where they were before I took it out. So I will finish this off, and I won't bore you with the rest of it, hooking up the hose, putting the coolant in, and getting my timing light out. And when we do that, we'll make that the final segment. The importance of setting the engine up and the carburetor to work together. So I set this carburetor up based on that nasty Edelbroken intake manifold. And I'll tell you, it took me a bit to dial it in, but this will solve two problems. I will do the setup from scratch again, set my ignition timing and make sure that's spot on where it should be. Then I will set the carburetor air fuel mixture and idle settings, curb idle settings, and we'll be in top drawer condition. And the last and final step will be, we'll put the factory air breather back on, and we'll close this hood for the first time and share it with you. First time the hood will actually be closed and latched properly since I owned it. Because that was always a question in my mind. Why was the hood always kind of like this, sticking up about that far? And I blamed the latches in here. So what I did was I took the latch mechanisms right off the hood, and it still stayed open 2¼ inches. So when we're done, we're gonna, and I got it all running and dialed in, and we'll let you see how I do that. We'll close the hood together for the very first time, and it will latch, guarantee you. So till next time, don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, just go in and check and make sure you are subscribed, because I see some quirkiness with the Google Analytics on the channel, that some people are subscribed and then they're not subscribed. But also click the bell, the notification bell, so that you are notified when we drop new videos, which we do 2 for Tuesday and 1 every Friday. So you get 3 videos every single week as we work on these projects together, and I show you how to do it in simple form, so that whether you know a little bit about cars or absolutely nothing, you'll know the components, where they are, what they do, how you service them, when they're broken, and how they broke, and how to prevent it. And that's how you can keep your vehicle long term. So don't forget to also follow us, like us, and follow us on Facebook at Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Niall Motormouth Jenkins, and keep it under 100, and happy motoring until next time. Put the coffee on, because we might stop by your house.